Hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia. Something that I wanted to talk about today that I think is a conversation that I had to have with myself a couple of years ago was, you want to change your life, but it's as simple as this. It's either you break the pattern today or the loop will continue tomorrow. It is so easy to change your mind when you're young. It's so easy. I feel like maybe because you're more carefree. You change what you want to do in life. All of a sudden, one day you want to be an astronaut, the next day you want to be a veterinarian, the next day you want to be a dancer, the next day you want to be a singer. You're constantly changing yourself, reinventing yourself based on what you like. Even the way that even your dress and stuff like that, you're more carefree. You change your mind so much easier, and you make drastic changes about just maybe about yourself and the just yourself in general. But I feel as though when you get older, it's harder to make changes due to simply you become an adult. Simply more is demanded of you, responsibilities, tasks, things that you got to do, even expectations from others, things that people put onto you, whether it's family, friends, society, responsibility, college, your job, whatever it is. Even I even think it's also because we as humans we like to try to fit in so much, and you don't want to stand out as much as you did when you were younger. You want to look the same, you want to talk the same, you want to act the same, just everything, because standing out it becomes starts to become, I feel like during middle school, standing out and being yourself and not wanting, standing out starts to become a bad thing. And then you start recognizing that, oh, I need to be like everybody else. I got to look this way, act this way, talk this way, be this way so that I'll fit in, because I have recognized that, oh, standing out and being different is not normal, quote unquote, and it's a bad thing. Two, but this goes back to the conversation that I had to have with myself a few years ago. To put it into easy words, simple words, I had to recognize that I had to do the unexpected. I had to break the cycle and stop doing the same day to day tasks, the mundane tasks, even the expectations fitting in. That was the things that were put onto me by society, by family, by friends, really anything. How did I do that? I had to start doing things by myself, um, not wanting a kind of sense of security with other people around me all the time, starting to eat by myself, changing one thing that I did a day, whether it be instead of watching TV, you go for a walk. Instead of scrolling on your phone, how about I prioritize myself and the things that I want to do in life and the things that I want to accomplish, working on myself. Instead of scrolling on the phone, read a book, um, do something different, just something different in your day to simply break the pattern of the things that you do every single day. Because I feel like when you do the same routine every single day and you're not really living for yourself and you're just doing it just because it's what everybody else does and you're trying to fit in and you just doing the day-to-day tasks, you are existing rather than living, life starts to blend together, and to the fact where you can't even remember the days, the weeks, the months, the years, the hours, the minutes. It all starts blending together. And because of that, I had to realize that I'm going to have to change some things, do some things different. Even just starting with something easy in the beginning to just simply get out of my comfort zone and recognize that I can really do anything. If I put my mind to it and I'm consistent, I can really do anything, in breaking the pattern and taking myself out of the comfort zone. And the easier it gets taking yourself out of that comfort zone, the more things you start doing on your own, or just the person you want to become overall. And I feel as though the easiest way to break patterns, the easiest way to form a reality of the life that you want to live and the person that you want to be, is by doing something you've never done before. And because of that, you are going to have to break the day to day mundane patterns that you do every day. Because my mind immediately thinks of, if you do the same things every single day, you're going to get the same results every single day. If you do the same task every single day, you're going to get the same results. Nothing is ever going to change. So if you do the same tasks every day and you get the same results, that's the results that you're going to get for the rest of your life as well. So what I'm trying to say is, what if everything that you want in life, the person that you want to be, your goals, your dreams, the things that you keep you awake at night, the things that person, that future version of yourself you want to be, that version of yourself already exists and is very possible to create and to start living or embodying that person. I think we as humans, we are just so programmed to be realistic, and it starts early on. And when you're in middle school, you start being programmed to be realistic and fit in and look the same and talk the same and act the same. You start being programmed to follow what everybody else does and live your life just like everybody else and not to dream. And even as it progresses into adulthood, just the 9 to 5, the college, just work, 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 work every single day, same routine. Um, that's what life is. Do the same steps that everybody else does because that's what we all should want. And basically, work until you die, forget all your dreams, anything that you want to accomplish in life that does not take precedent towards you having a job, doing all these things. I'm not saying that you can't do that, and I'm not saying that you can't want that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, from my perspective, from what I had to do in my life, I just started to recognize that that was not something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life and fit in and be realistic and to just follow what everybody else wants in life, because I felt as though even when I was doing that, that my dreams and the person who I wanted to be, my future self, I feel like she was itching at me. Or she was like, "Come on, what you doing? I'm waiting on you. You doing all this other stuff. I know you feel me pulling you, or I know you feel this sense, this urgency, this urge to be something different than what you are currently right now." And what was I gonna say? I feel like I just got to a point where staying the same and being realistic and repeating the same day to day, just the days just started blending together and the same patterns every single day started to cause me a lot of frustration, started to make me honestly very upset with myself because I knew this isn't the life that I wanted to be, and I felt like I was just really stuck. And changing my life and doing the unexpected. What was I going to say? Okay, I'm getting thrown off. Sorry. Hold on. It started getting to the point where staying the same, I started to get pain and become very frustrated by staying the same and repeating the same patterns every single day. It was starting to cause me more frustration than actually creating the life that I wanted for myself, actually changing my life, actually doing the unexpected, stepping out of my comfort zone, doing something for my future self and making her not just something that is figurative, but actually making her very realistic to the point where I become her and the dreams that I want to accomplish a reality. You know, the version of myself that I was trying to be realistic and the patterns and the doing the same thing day to day, that started to irritate me so much doing that staying like that for the rest of my life was no longer something that I wanted to accept and I wanted to accept for myself. You know, the the journey of stepping out of my comfort zone and going through all the highs and the lows and becoming the person who I needed to be became more of a, it was not, it was, how would I describe it? It became less of a fear and something that I was fearful to do, to step out of my comfort zone. That became the answer because now I was becoming afraid of staying the same for the rest of my life. And what I'm trying to say is, you know, you have to be very vocal about how you feel and what you want and your goals and your dreams and your ambitions. I mean, write it down. I did. I was thinking about it constantly every single day that I woke up, every single time I went to sleep. I was thinking about the person who I want to be, what I want to accomplish in my life. What does my future self accept? What does she not accept? What does she dress like? How does she talk? How does she think? And coming up with things to make it real, to make it a reality. Just even developing the mentality of it started to become a huge magnet for it to become a reality. You know, I started working towards it breaking patterns and getting out of my comfort zone, that the things that I started to do in life became easier and easier and easier. Making decisions for my future self, not my present self. Like I told you, I stopped asking myself, oh, what am I going to do today? I started asking myself, oh, what is my future self? What is she going to do today? What's a normal life to her? What is she like? What does she accept? What does she not accept? What is she working on right now? What are her goals and dreams right now in this very moment? If I was her 10 years from now, but she was me, you know what I mean? What does she want to accomplish? What is her goal? What has she already accomplished? How does she view herself? How does she treat people? All these things I started asking myself questions about and tried to embody her and the version that I wanted to be, because I wanted to simply break the pattern of the mundane day to day tasks and just the days blending together, because that loop, I didn't want it to repeat, tomorrow or the next week or next month or next year. And I feel as though everything that you dream about, the person that you want to be, is already real. I feel like that version of you and the things you want to accomplish is just simply waiting for you to take the step and for you to walk past your threshold and for you to recognize that, the idea of staying the same starts to irritate you more than stepping out of your comfort zone, or the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. The fear of staying the same starts to scare you more than stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something different and trying to break the habits of these day-to-day tasks, to the fact that your days blend together and the loop repeats tomorrow, and this winds up becoming your life for the rest of your life. So I just feel as though, your current habits and things that you do every single day and the way that you talk to yourself and the things that you think about, they will create your future life. They will build your future. And I think it's just very important for you. For me, I had to recognize that if I do the exact same things and the same thing, excuse me, if I do the exact same things every single day, talk to myself the way I was talking to myself, um, just do the same patterns every single day, I will get the exact results tomorrow. I will get the exact results this week, this month, this year, for the next 10 years, if I do not change my life and do something different. If I do not break this pattern, the loop will continue tomorrow. So that just made it was a conversation that I had to just have with myself. If I want a new, I wouldn't say new life or new future or new outlook on my life, and I want my life to change, I'm going to have to start with the small day to day things that happen every single day, and changing the way that the way I view myself, the way I treat myself, just the things that I just didn't want to accept anymore, and the things that I wanted to get better and be better than the version of myself that I was presently. I wanted to start making decisions for my future self and what does she do, rather than always thinking about my present self, you know, wanting to become better than the version of myself that I was used to be at. So it just makes me think that, you have to choose something new. You have to do something new in order for you to change your life. Because if you don't, the cycle just repeats and the loop repeats and you just get the same results every single day. I mean, some people want that. Hey, hats off to you. I'm not saying that some people don't want that and, something's wrong with you if you do. I'm not saying that. But for me personally, that was not a pattern. It was not a loop that I wanted to continue, because I wanted something more for myself. I wanted my life to change for the better, because I knew that my future self was out there. She was just waiting on me for me to step past the threshold and to get over my fear of my comfort zone and things that I didn't want to do. Like I said, that fear of staying the same started to irritate me more than stepping out of my comfort zone and trying something new. So I just, something that I wanted to talk about today. If you want to change your life, you got to do something different today. What are you going to do different today? And the more you make those changes, the more you change your future and your reality and yourself overall. But you always got to start small with something that you can do today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. But that's something that I wanted to talk about today. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your day. Yeah, and I'll see you guys next time.